I'm only gonna let you down.
To some of your favorite artists, Lowell is a superstar, but it's unlikely you even know the Calgary-born musician's name. Because even with 3 critically acclaimed albums under her belt, she's found her main success writing for others.
I'm sorry in advance. I'm only gonna treat you bad. I'm sorry in advance. I'm only gonna treat you bad.
From this song, the Beach's smash hit Blame Brett, to tracks by the Backstreet Boys, Charlie XCX, JoJo and Demi Lovato, and Canadian breakouts like Tate McRae and Bulow, she's done it all.
This ain't Texas, ain't no hold up. So lay your cards down, 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 down.
Or at least she can say that now, given her most recent credit, co-writing Beyoncé's Grammy-winning country track, Texas Hold'em.
And I'll be damned if I can't slow dance with you. Come pour some sugar on me, honey, too. It's a real live boogie and a real live hold down. Don't be a bitch, come take it to the floor now. Woo! Huh.
And at this year's Juno Awards, Lowell is nominated for her work on Beyoncé's album. It's an honor that's felt out of reach before now. Until this year, there was no category for songwriters who wrote for others. I sat down in the Toronto studio where Lowell wrote many of her hits to talk about why that category means so much to songwriters looking for reasons to stay in Canada instead of heading south for work and recognition. First of all, what was it like working with Beyoncé to craft that album?
I mean, really just inspiring. I feel like everybody in the industry is so jaded and everybody's just like trying to make money and do this and that. But like with her, I just felt the energy of wanting to do something different, move the needle, challenge people. And that is kind of like the way I feel about music and why I wanted to do music in the first place. So yeah, working with her just was super validating and yeah, just exciting.
Well, I mean, I was going to ask if, like, as a little kid, you were like, I know I'm going to write for Beyoncé one day, or is this just totally not something that you really predicted for yourself?
I did have I found my like little dream board from when I was in grade 11 or something that said I wanted to win a Grammy. And then I think that probably like 5 years ago, I had sort of torn that up in my mind. Like, it just wasn't really a thing that I thought about anymore. I was like really happy just doing development, like writing these like mid-level hits or with like mid-level artists but that really inspire me. So it wasn't even really something that I thought about. But now that I am there, I'm pretty happy about it.
I mean, from what I understand, you've really invested in artists. Why do you want to nurture specific artists so much instead of, you know, playing the field, working with as many different people as you can?
Yeah, I mean, Madison Beer, but also like Bulow and Luke Kalla and my new baby, baby Nova. I think that, yeah, just because like when I was an artist, I had no way in and it was kind of a scary place. There's a lot of like predatory stuff at the bottom of the industry and like especially for young girls and women. You know, there's so few women that are like in my position, and so if I can make that like a little bit easier, be more empathetic, and also make it safer for young girls and women, because I went through a lot when I was trying to get in there, a lot of stuff.
Going back to Bulow, I mean, she had a stratospheric rise, largely off of the strength of a lot of your writing, a lot of your work with her.
Wish I could tell you that I love you, but I can't. Wish I could call you in the morning, but I can't. Wish I could tell you that I miss you, but I can't. This is not a love song.
And the Juno Award for Breakthrough Artist of the Year goes to Bulow.
Wish I could tell you that I love you, but I can't. Wish I could call you in the morning, but I can't. Wish I could tell you that I miss you, but I can't.
What was it like to see the Juno nominations, the tours, stuff like that, when you, I mean, as we talked about in a previous interview, that songwriting category for non-performers didn't exist?
Yeah, it was bittersweet because I was so proud of her and so excited for her and to be a part of it and everything, but it was really hard, like being there, meant to celebrate about it, but not really being allowed to be celebrated for it. You know, I co-wrote that whole EP with her, and I did feel like, you know, all of the creators behind it needed to be rewarded, not just a couple of the select people, just the producers and the artists. So that was when I really started like thinking about this category and whether it needed to change.
Tell me about making that change? I know you've been kind of championing this category, but was there like a blindness to that need? Because I'm just, honestly, now that I see it being created, I'm astounded it wasn't around already. What was that kind of frustration like for you?
Yeah, it's funny, like anytime I explain to people why the category needs to exist, like being like, you know that all the people under the songwriter category are artists, and a lot of them actually just like didn't necessarily write the song. I might have written the song, and people go like, what? I didn't know that. That's crazy. You need to be able to have this category. And so like once you explain it to people, it makes sense. But I think that most of the time people just don't tend to ask questions or like wonder if something is the way it should be.
What is the like sentiment? Like, what do Canadian songwriters sitting in a room talk about when that kind of reality is in the room with all of you at the same time?
I mean, songwriters are really beaten down. We're like not really used to getting any recognition or money or acclaim, but I've tried to energize them. I'm like, I naturally am the kind of person that like, I'm a fighter. I love to just stir the pot a little bit. I always joke, I'm like, I'm not necessarily like liked, but sometimes respected. But yeah, it took them a while. I even had to like message some of my songwriter peers and be like, no, it's real. Submit for the category, because they're just not used to it. But everyone is really excited.
Are you still traveling down to the States a lot to work with artists there?
I mean, I avoid it. I mostly try to find artists in Canada. I think it's like more needed. And I like it here. But I do go. I'll go. I have to.
Well, I ask because, I mean, especially right now, not only with the relationship being fraught between Canada and the United States, but, you know, travel advisory for the United States, is there worry, obstacles, hurdles in being an artist, being so tied to a place that is maybe not as welcoming to Canadian artists or artists in general?
Yeah. I mean, I already struggled with the trip. This isn't like making me want to go more. And I think you do have to be careful. Like a lot of people that are musicians are pretty outspoken and stuff, and it is pretty scary right now, I think, going across the border. I'm pretty careful about like what I put on my profile at this point. But I mean, like as long as I can go, I guess I have to go. But yeah, it's pretty weird out there. I'm always pretty happy to stay in Canada and just be like waving my Canadian flag, finding great Canadian artists. We have incredible talent here, so why not?
We've talked about the push to, you know, shine the spotlight on songwriters here so they don't necessarily have to leave. Is this the beginning of the process in that it's still kind of impossible to just work in Canada, or has it shifted enough already that you can focus a career here in this country and gain fame in this country?
I mean, my hope is for people to be able to stay here. It is not easy. I'm like, you know, me trying to stay here, it's difficult. But I think that like if you stay true to what you do and you create excellence, you're gonna succeed no matter what. I did this Beyoncé stuff with a bunch of Canadians, and most of my success has been made out of here. You know, that we did the Beaches album in this room, and they're known internationally now. But I do think it takes like determination, and like someone like me, I'm hoping like I can like mentor people here and show them the ropes, because like I learned a lot when I went to LA, and there is this like competitive nature there that is really important. And so I'm hoping I can like kind of bring that nature here and bring up talent here and like mentor, so that people at least don't have to go so early to find their way, you know?
And it's not too little too late. I mean, you've found success in America and now Canada recognizes you. Is there bitterness there?
It's not bitterness, but I think that like, if you look at like Drake and starting OVO, I'm sure that like that wasn't out of bitterness. Like I think it was more just him being like, well, like I'm gonna do it my way. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's how innovation can happen when you're in a system like the music industry. Everyone does things one way and no one's really challenging them to change it. It's just status quo, and there's other people that are like disruptors, and that's more my plan. It's not bitterness. I'll still like give anybody the time of day, but sometimes if somebody was really like just so the worst to me at some point, like, you know, it feels pretty good when they come up and they're like, hey, can we talk? I'm like, yeah, what?
So would you say, I mean, is this recognition, this, potential Junos win is this the industry, Canadian industry, embracing you and embracing songwriters, non-performing songwriters?
Yeah, I think that it does give me hope that maybe at this point in my career I can make a little bit more change. Maybe I was starting too early, like 8 years ago, and I've got like one hit and I'm like, you guys need to change the industry. Like maybe now is a better time for me to come in, but still it is a little bit late. Like the Grammys had this category a while ago. Come on, guys.